Well, you might be out and about or even in your yard and see some wildlife. Well, there are certain ones that we'd like to hear reports about, especially from the state of Ohio does. And joining us today to tell us more, wildlife educator coordinator with the Ohio Division of Wildlife, Abby Ditomassi. And thanks for joining us, Abby.
Thanks for having me, Holly.
Okay, so what's this reporting all about that you guys would like?
So the Division of Wildlife is looking for reports on specific animals like gray foxes, river otters, bobcats, and other fur bearers, which are animals that can be hunted or trapped for their fur. And the reason that is because we're just wanting, the biologists want to know about their populations. And so if you are trapping or hunting, you can actually submit those carcasses to a wildlife officer to get those to our biologists so they can do a lot of different scientific experiments on them. But also, if you find like a roadkill animal that we are talking about today, that's another way that you can submit these carcasses for research. But I think for most of us, we're going to have maybe a trail camera set up, or an animal's going to go through our backyard and you can snap a picture or take a video, and you can actually report these animals with our wildlife reporting system at wideohio.gov. We also have a Huntfish Ohio mobile app, and that's a way that's super easy that you can submit these pictures or videos to our biologists as well, so we just can monitor these populations of these secretive species.
So these are not endangered species necessarily, but you guys just want to kind of keep track to see how many are around?
Some can be endangered or threatened. Some are species of concerns. For the one that we're going to talk about today is a gray fox here. This is one that they're really wanting to know about because they're not very common in Ohio, but their populations seem to be decreasing. So we want to know why that's happening. And those carcasses will maybe help with whether it's diet or disease or predators or just overall habitat that they're missing. But this gray fox here, you'll want to be able to ID it because we do have a red fox. So you'll want to look for this gray coloration on the side. Also, they have a black tip on the tail. They also have what I call like a scrunchy face. Their snout is not as long. And then they kind of have a more cat-like appearance than the other fox because they're more dog-like. These guys have semi-retractable claws, so they can actually climb trees, unlike any other dog species. And so that habitat that they prefer is mature forests that are undisturbed by people, which we're kind of lacking in Ohio. So you're more likely to find these guys on a trail camera that you can maybe submit a picture to us for.
Wow, okay. Well, what about, is that a bobcat you got? You want to tell us about?
Yes, so we have a bobcat here. Now, we want to know about them for very different reasons. Gray fox is declining. The bobcat seems to be increasing their population, and they're increasing their range. They're doing really well in southeastern Ohio, and they seem to be spreading their range throughout Ohio. So we're all the way up here in northwest Ohio. But the thing is, there has been 3 confirmed sightings of bobcat in Allen County since 2021. So they're definitely making appearances in northwestern Ohio, and we want to know when we see more of them. This is a species that was on the endangered species list. It was endangered and it was moved in 2014. So again, we just still monitor these populations to know how they're doing.
Now, do they get bigger? I mean, sometimes do people mistake them for a cat or a dog, or can you really tell the difference?
It can be tricky on a trail camera, especially I'll have people send me pictures and think, I think this is a bobcat, but it could be a house cat. They can be twice the size of house cats, but at the same time, a normal bobcat can be 9 to 40 pounds. So it really ranges in size. And I really think people think that bobcats are bigger than they actually are. So what you want to look for on a bobcat is actually this short tail that you see there. That's how they get the name bobcat, is because of that bobtail. I also look for the spotting on the sides. I think in a trail camera, they're really muscular and tall compared to house cats as well.
Okay, and the last one that you want to show us, that's a badger, okay? I didn't even know they were in Ohio.
Yeah, I know. So a lot of these species people don't know are in Ohio, and badgers are definitely one of them. This is an American badger. Notice the short, stout body and the really sharp claws. This animal is made for digging quickly. So when it's alarmed, it can actually dig a hole and bury itself underground in a matter of seconds. So could be why it's so secretive and hard to track in Ohio, but also we're at the eastern limit of its range. But lucky for you guys in Northwest Ohio, it's probably more common to see them in Northwest Ohio than the rest of the state. And so that's why we want you to report if you do see them. They like grasslands with sandy soils, kind of that soft soil that they can bury themselves in. So if you happen to see one, let us know.
How big do they usually get? Are they the size is that like the size of a raccoon or so, or are they bigger than that?
Yeah, I would say it's raccoon, but just notice how short to the how short they are, how low to the ground they are. Yeah, I'd say about raccoon size. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Okay. So if you see these kind of animals or any other, as you mentioned, you can just report it easily online and help you guys out with checking out these animals in Ohio.
Yep. There's all different kinds of animals. We've got some weasels, river otters are making a comeback. So if you think it's unusual, go ahead and report it and we'll check it out.
That's awesome stuff. Thanks, Abby, for telling us about us today.
Thanks for having me, Holly.
All right, don't go away. Noon Edition continues in a moment.